Howdy there, people. Today I have an Ubers battle against Ivan, and it was a really great match, so let's get into it. I lead with Mew, he leads with Lugia. I know these things are really bulky, so I decided to get the Toxic on it, and luckily for me, he just whirlwinds me out, so I feel like I got a quick advantage there. I decided to go for Sword Stance, because I don't think it's going to whirlwind again, and I'm just checking my speed right here, and yeah, my Groudon is as fast as possible, so I'll either win a speed tie against Kyogre, or maybe I'm just faster because he's not invested in speed, but I don't end up killing it, which kind of sucks, but luckily for me he goes for Water Spout and not Surf. Otherwise he definitely would have taken me out, but because it was Water Spout and he was at low HP, didn't really do much to me. So in comes Mewtwo. I'm expecting an Ice Beam, so I go to my special wall, Blissey, and you're gonna see that he has a Blissey of his own actually, and the two of our Blisseys just completely centralize this whole match, because when he has his Blissey in, I don't really have a whole lot of switching options, and he doesn't have a whole lot to do against me either. But anyways, right off the bat I'm going to go into Groudon, because I know how threatening Blissey is to my team. It can kind of just stall a lot of things. I don't really have a whole lot to do against it, and predicting a Seismic Toss or a Thunder Wave, I decide to switch out, but he Toxics me, and wanting to hit it right away I go for Earthquake, and in comes Lugia, and because I know these things are really, this is one of his walls as well, I decide just to leave Groudon in and wear it down, and hopefully take out one of his walls if I can't take out Blissey. So he's at really low health, and I decide to transform, expecting him to switch out, but I didn't expect him to switch out the Blissey, otherwise I would have went for something else, I guess, or I don't know. But I transform into his Blissey, which is kind of bad, but whatever. And I don't have a whole lot to do against it, so I decided to go to Rayquaza. Even though I found out from transforming out his moveset, he did have Icy Wind, I was expecting him to switch out to something, so that's why I switched myself. I go for Extreme Speed on his Deoxys, and he switched out, which is surprising, but I guess Deoxys have low health, so maybe it was the right move for him. And I go back into my Blissey on his Latias, and he goes into Blissey again of his own, so there's this constant Blissey centralization as I was talking about, but I'm just gonna have to try to work around it. I go for S-Toss just because I didn't have a whole lot to do to Blissey, and I was thinking, I can't really switch out on it because of its moveset, and there's not a whole lot he can do to me, so I just go for S-Tosses. And now his Deoxys comes in, and I switch out to my physical wall, expecting like a superpower because it came in on Blissey, but he ends up getting a crit, which kind of hurts a lot because that's my most defensive bulky poke that I have, and from the crit damage, if he didn't crit, I could have soft boiled up and been able to stall out that Deoxys, but it is what it is, and he switches out for some reason on my explosion, so I end up taking his Lugia out, but it's gonna be fine. And you see here I come in with Ho-Oh and I get paralyzed, but I end up burning him, and I think I can take it out here, so I go for another Sacred Fire, hoping to fight through the Parahacks, and I do, but he shows me Recover, so I'm gonna have to switch out. I'm gonna expect him to go for another Recover here, so I'm gonna go into Blissey to try to wear him down. And T-Wave, so the odds of me doing it again are low, so he thinks he can get in for free here. But I predict that nicely and get another Parahacks on it. And I decide to go into my Ho-Oh because after Mew, this is my second most bulky poke on the physical side. And he gets a Parahacks, but it kind of evens out because I get one of my own on this Latias as it switches in, and I feel like I really could have taken it out there if I didn't get that Parahacks, but he got one on me, so I feel like that evens out, and back comes in Blissey on his special attacker, and his Blissey comes right in on me, and I decide to just stall it out a little bit as he goes for Toxic on me, and this is really getting nowhere. I do manage to get the aromatherapy off so I can heal my Ho-Oh of its paralysis rather, but I'm just going to switch out here into my Kyogre. This is going to be bad for me a little bit just because Ho-Oh is going to be useless now. Its Sacred Fire isn't going to do any damage. The only thing it's going to be useful for is that 50% burn chance. But I feel like Kyogre was probably my best option against Blissey because it is Rest and Sleep Talk. So if he wants to stay in on me, I'm just going to be able to rest up, and he's not going to be able to wear me out with Toxic Stalls and Icy Winds, and he's just basically going to be wasting his own PP, which is kind of what I'm thinking might be the only way of taking down this Blissey reliably, or at the very least forcing him to switch out. Couple moves here. I switch out on his expected Thunderbolt to my Blissey. He goes into Deoxys on Thunderwave, and I go into Ho-Oh, and this damage really surprised me. I did not expect it to do that much, so that's why that paralysis on it earlier really helped out, because he definitely could have 2-hit KO'd me. So my Ho-Oh doesn't really have much to do against Blissey. I decided just to maybe Calm Mind up to make my T-Bolt a little more powerful in case he wants to send in his Latias. So I decided to Calm Mind up, and he gets Toxic on me, so that's looking like a really bad idea now. So I just decided to get off a Recover before switching out into my Blissey, and maybe just getting off another Heal Bell and using Ho-Oh later if it's at all possible. I don't know. Ho-Oh, like I said, after I got the Rain up, it's not looking good at all. I get another T-Wave off. I must have paralyzed this Deoxys a couple times now, and I decide to go for a Heal Bell and get the poison off my Kyogre and off of my Ho-Oh, and luckily for me he gets paralyzed, not once, but he gets paralyzed right here, so that's great for me because now I'm pretty sure he's out of physical attackers, and he's just got his Blissey, his Latias, and what is it? His Mewtwo, I think. But yeah, Blissey can absolutely wall all of them. But I still don't have really much to do to his Blissey outside of wearing it out of PP. So I decided to go into my Kyogre. Since my Blissey was poisoned, I wasn't expecting a poison this turn, so it was a pretty safe switch for me. And I'm just gonna start going for Surfs, and if he decides to send in anything, his Latias is at low enough health where I'm pretty sure I can kill it, and I think I start PP stalling it now. I think that was my plan when I sent in Blissey. I just wanted to switch in on the obvious Toxic, go for Thunder Waves, and switch right out again. And I think that's what I end up doing. It's wasting PP. I'm conserving PP by using switches instead of moves, and he doesn't have a whole lot to do to my Kyogre. And now I decide I'm gonna stay in case he wants to switch out, expecting something. I hit the Mewtwo really hard. I'm actually really surprised it survived because I think a max special attack, and it's Surf in the Rain, powerful attack. But I'm able to live the T-Bolt at any rate, and in comes Latias, and I have to switch out here because my Kyogre is probably the only thing that can stall out Blissey reliably. So I decided to switch out to my Blissey. I know it's a really safe switch, and he doesn't have a whole lot he can do to me at this point, so I'm just gonna wear it down with Seismic Tosses, and eventually I get the Thunder Wave off, and I just sped up the battle here. I sped up the battle actually in a few parts because the first time I recorded this, it was actually like 25 minutes at like 3 times the speed the battle goes or whatever. But anyways, he's gonna Toxic me, and I just decided to stay in and keep going for T-Waves and Seismic Tosses just in case he wanted to switch in his Latias at any point, you know, I'd be able to take it out. And now I go into Kyogre, and I'm not really worried about a switch in from Latias here either, because if it switches in on a Surf, it'll probably die, even though it's resisted, because it's a strong attack in the rain, and he's at low enough health. And, you know, if he goes for... He hasn't seen my Rest or Sleep Talk yet, so if he does start wearing me down, I could rest and go for Sleep Talk on the following turn, and if he decides to switch in Latias there, I can kill it. But I end up getting a crit on him, which kind of makes things, just speeds him up a little bit more, because his Latias is going to come in and finish me off, and I'm going to finish him off with an extreme speed from Rayquaza. So that's the end of the battle. It was a really cool match. It was actually my first Ubers that I've done, so I was pretty happy with how things went. And my team, I just kind of threw a bunch of things together, just hoping it would work out, and it did. But I guess the next time I play Ubers, I'm going to have something a little more reliable to take out Blissey, just because relying on PP stalling is, you know, not the best strategy I could have came up with. But you know, when you're put in that situation, you got to do what you got to do, and you know, that's what happened. But anyways, if you watch this battle, please leave a comment saying what you thought, and I appreciate you watching. So peace out and have a great day. Bye.